As you may know, the Detroit Lions haven't exactly had the best luck in their franchise's history when it comes to being successful. With some notable names in recent memory like Matthew Stafford, Calvin Johnson, and Barry Sanders, they didn't exactly accomplish anything and essentially wasted careers of some of the best players in the league and its history, and thus making their franchise become a laughingstock if we're being completely honest. But things are starting to turn around for this franchise, and honestly, they might have one of the brightest futures in the NFL. Before I get into things, I'd appreciate it if you subscribed and dropped a like. I make NFL content weekly, and your support in any way helps growing out the channel, and I appreciate every one of you that watches my videos, whether you're subbed or not, and I've got big things in store for the future, and shit, if there's any topics you want me to talk about, feel free to let me know in the comments. Now, I'm sure we all know a little bit of their history after having the poverty days of going 3-13 to get Megatron and 0-16 to get Matt Stafford. The duo of Matt Stafford and Megatron may not have had the most successful time together, with not winning a playoff game and only making it twice together and 3 times total with Stafford at the helm. It was honestly an underwhelming tenure, but it definitely had a lot of bright spots and gave Lions fans some excitement having players of that stature, but it's not what you'd hope with a quarterback of Stafford's caliber. Obviously, the poorly run front office not doing many favors for Stafford doesn't help. Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn are almost universally hated among Lions fans. My favorite thing to do is going on the Lions subreddit and simply searching up the name of these two guys, and you'll see how hated they really were. From getting rid of Jim Caldwell that kept the team competitive and replacing him with the wannabe Belichick that was the number 2 in his own coaching unit in New England, he implemented a new defensive system that didn't fit the style of play of their players and essentially ended up making more holes in the roster and went on to lose the locker room, with veterans like Darius Slay and Matthew Stafford not exactly being the biggest fan of Matt Patricia. The firing of the two guys might literally be one of the best things that could have ever happened to the Lions in their franchise's history, as it has led to a successful start to a promising rebuild. The successor to Bob Quinn is the great Brad Holmes. The man has been vital from the turnaround from the terribly run Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia partnership, and his biggest move might have been the signing of the most electric coach in all of the NFL. He's a guy that players love and would absolutely bite the kneecaps off their opponents for, and this is MCDC Motor City Dan Campbell. Coach Dan Campbell has brought in a breath of fresh air after the sour taste left in the fans' mouth with that wannabe Belichick and Matt Patricia. He's authentic, he's a former player that the guys get, and as someone that's trying to establish his place in the league as a head coach with a group of guys that are trying to prove themselves as players that belong in the league. He's setting a culture of working hard and trying to prove the doubters wrong, but while proving each other right, and the guys are buying in. To have a stud player coach like this that players love, and to draft an amazing group of young guys that will flourish around MCDC like Penei Sewell, Aleem McNeil, and Amon-Ra St. Brown last year, and to get both Aiden Hutchinson and Jameson Williams in the first round this year, that just shows how much more improved the front office is, and it's just giving the organization and fans plenty of hope for the future. To pair this group of guys with maybe one of the stud quarterbacks entering the league next year, and Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, or maybe even someone that has a Joe Burrow type year that breaks out, the options are limitless, and any quarterback stepping into this situation might actually be coming into one of the best up-and-coming rosters. Let's just take a look at their roster, why don't we? So they've got DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, DJ Chark, Josh Reynolds and TJ Hawkinson as their weapons, and the offensive line that consists of Taylor Decker, Jonah Jackson, Frank Ragnow, Hala Vaitai, and an absolute stud in Penei Sewell. Like I said, any quarterback, and I mean literally any quarterback stepping into the situation with great young weapons and a pretty damn solid offensive line that's only getting better, is pretty much the luckiest quarterback in the NFL. I haven't even mentioned the defense that features studs like Aiden Hutchinson, the Aquara brothers, Michael Brockers, Aleem McNeil, Amani Oruwariye, Jeff Okudah, who I still have lots of faith in, and Deshaun Elliott and Tracy Walker. Again, they're a great group of guys that plays hard and would definitely bite the kneecaps off their opponents and would run through a brick wall for MCDC. Although the past season, the Lions' record didn't exactly show it, they technically won big. After he seemed to be a lock for the first pick, they still managed to get Aiden Hutchinson with the second pick, and they also won a Super Bowl in spirit with their beloved Matthew Stafford winning a Super Bowl with the Rams. But who knows what the future really holds for Detroit? All we can do is wish the Lions and their fans the best, and if there's any organization or fan base that deserves to be successful, it's definitely them. Not having won a playoff game since 1991 sounds absolutely miserable, and I'm hoping for their sanity that this decade their luck will turn around. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate you all, and I'll catch you next time.